overall against the Georgia offense, the Alabama defense played some really good defensive reps, and they had a few mistakes that I think can largely be corrected. So I'm just going to jump into quite a few plays here that showcase what I'm talking about. Let's start with one of the first plays in the game. Alabama defense is playing what looks like a cover three that disguised it a little bit, but when you look at the play progression, it looks like there's one safety up top and two corners playing the deep thirds. So Alabama sends one linebacker on the blitz, and you can tell it's zone because no one is lined up over their receivers directly. That's usually a giveaway that you're playing zone coverage. And you see that Deontay Lawson is watching the eyes of the quarterback all the way. And you see him break on the ball, and he almost gets the interception. And honestly, that's a really fairly simple coverage, and you just see what happens when you execute it well and the quarterback is not accounting for people watching his eyes. Okay, so then on the next play, Alabama switching up a little bit with a three-man front, and they got two linebackers on the second level. And it looks like number 4 at linebacker filled the wrong gap. At least that's what it looks like to me, because he left the B gap, which is between the tackle and the guard on the left side of the offense, completely unplugged, which is a big hole. And the running back then goes right through it for a big gain. And you see Alabama linebacker Justin Jefferson with good hustle and pursuit as he makes up and gets a tackle here when it could have gone for even more yards. But Justin Jefferson shouldn't have to pursue and run so long when a guy just filled his gap up in the beginning. On the next play, Alabama's going to do something a little bit different again. Alabama has 6 people on the line of scrimmage on this play, and they're playing zone coverage once again. So, and of course, in college football and a lot of defenses in recent years, especially the onset of the RPO, when defense started to catch up, you see a lot more people playing zone defense. I know Michigan was pretty popular for it a couple of years ago when they won the championship, and just a lot of people are doing it now. But you're going to see Dominique Jackson, who's out alone on the field side of it. So he's playing field corner position. Alabama actually only rushes 4 people out of the 6, and they disguise their blitzer from the secondary. So even with that said, Alabama still has the numbers advantage on that screen play that Georgia's running. You got 2 Georgia blockers and 1 receiver who has to run. So 2 blockers, 3 defenders, 3 Bama defenders. And Alabama has good rally to the ball, but they actually have a bit of poor tackling here, which that's an execution issue. That's something that you can get better at if you do what you're supposed to do. Alabama just messed up there. Now, on the next play I'm showing you, so this one that we're seeing here, this is one of the few times that this happened in the game. You're going to see Georgia heavy set on the right side of the line of scrimmage, and they block down to the left, and it leaves Dominique Jackson on the boundary as the running back Chauncey Bowens takes on the outside run. So it's happened a few times in the game. Dominique Jackson breaks down, but he gives up the edge. He's not playing good leverage on Bowens. And Bowens is incredibly talented, though. So not saying that Bowens didn't do much to make this happen, or that he doesn't have talent, which he does. I would say he actually made himself a lot of NFL money based on how he was getting to the edge side, because he's a big dude, but he's moving pretty quickly. Beat Dominique Jackson to the edge and got up the field more than once in this game, and this is another example. But Dominique Jackson probably could have set the edge better, played better leverage, and prevented Chauncey from getting up the field for as much yardage as he did multiple times. Now, on this play, we're going to see Bray Hubbard do something really cool. You're going to see him step up into the gap. This is the safety playing almost like a linebacker. And he meets running back number 3, who I believe is Frazier. And he delivers like the cleanest and most technically sound tackle that we've seen from an Alabama player this year. I will argue probably in the last couple years, which is pretty incredible. And he causes a fumble. Like, the tackle was just executed well. He turned his head to the side. See, there's no need to spear people or to lead with the crown of your head. I know a lot of people get upset about targeting calls, but when I see sound tackles like this, really good tackles with good form, and they take the ball carry down and it causes a fumble, it just lets me know, in my opinion, the defenders in general in college football and football don't do a good enough job of practicing the fundamentals in order to do tackles like this. There's no need to really launch into someone or lead with your helmet if you're just making sound form tackles like this that get results and are productive for the defense. So really sound, really great way of playing, good play by the defense. Now I'm going to highlight another Alabama linebacker who made an excellent play here. So we're going to get an excellent play by number 42, which I believe is Pierre. And he beats the pulling left guard. So watch him beat the pulling left guard to the spot, to the block, and he creates havoc for this stretch run. He even gets the tackle, and was really great for Alabama fans and for those who are watching and like to see good football. The good news is that the other defenders also did a good job of pursuing the ball and getting to their blocks as well. This is the type of play that you need to have sustained success against a good offense, or against any offense. So as you can see, number 7 as well set the edge so that even if Pierre didn't get the tackle, he still would have been there. Also, I think Hill Green, number 41, they had some players who were doing what they're supposed to do. Sometimes defense is as simple as just doing what you're supposed to do, even if you're not the most talented, not the fastest. If you just play leverage, if you take on your block, you fill the gap, you will make plays. This is a good example of that. Now, we're going to see Alabama return to doing another thing where they put 6 defenders on the line of scrimmage, but 4 of them rushed, so they did the same thing a little bit earlier. Georgia called a good running call here. It was a good play to do when Alabama does this, because the offensive linemen get up the field as Alabama pulls their 2 linebackers back. They're stepping back. Offensive linemen are coming up the field. That naturally creates a gap right there where the running back can run up the middle on these retreating linebackers, and Dominic Jackson makes the same mistake he did last time. He has to learn to set the edge against these running backs. I think he's probably confident in his speed or confident in his ability to run down someone, but Georgia has some really talented backs who are big and they're fast. And so you can't break down, leave yourself flat, and let them get to the edge and think you're going to chase them down and prevent them from getting good yards, which it happened multiple times, like I said. So that running back hit that natural gap, and all Dominic Jackson had to do was set the edge, go toward the right sideline a little bit, funnel the running back inside, and you will see that Bray Hubbard, he would have gotten the inside tackle because he was closing in fast on Bowens. But all that to say, let's not forget that Bowens is fast. Like I said, he makes himself some NFL money. When you see that play, you see these types of plays, you can see why he also was able to run by Dominic Jackson. So good play. Now we're going to go down to some good goal line defense, and I would say actually great goal line defense on this play. LT Overton, he gets all the hype here, which he does blow it up. He does. It's a great job. But I will argue that we need to look at number 8, who he's small. I don't know if he's a linebacker or a safety. I have to look him up. Somebody let me know in the comment section who was Alabama's defender number 8. But he did his thing right here. Like if you see him set that edge over there right next to LT Overton and really stymies his guy and stops him from getting any push or any kind of movement on the block, that really also allowed LT Overton to blow up his guy and get in the backfield on a one-on-one, cause havoc, and create a good stop at the goal line. Now, later on in the game, a little bit further down, I want to say that Georgia did a really well executed misdirection play. Sometimes misdirection is just going to do its thing against your defense no matter what's going on. And this is an example of that. So you got to tip the hat to a certain extent. But I want you to do something here on this play. Look at and focus on Justin Jefferson, number 10, at the linebacker position. The fake handoff got him really good, as it did the other defenders. But there's a reason why I'm highlighting him in this instance. And it's the reason why that fake handoff that they did, number 86 did with the other receiver, it was the reason why the offensive lineman beat Justin Jefferson to his spot that Justin Jefferson was running to. So if you notice, if you're rewatching the play, 86 takes a run up that side of the field, and you see an offensive lineman closing in to block, to close off that area. If Justin Jefferson never stops running, he's running straight into that lane, and he would have met the wide receiver in that spot. Now, is that a guarantee that he would have made a tackle? No. But considering his track record, considering his speed, I think he was a good chance of slowing him down at the very least, or making a tackle, which would have stopped this play from being very big. So that just lets you know that the misdirection on these types of plays really can make a difference. Like you can see when 86 fakes that handoff, Justin Jefferson stops for a second and looks back to see if the guy got the ball. Then he tries to keep running. But by that time, that little split second is all that the wide receiver and the offensive lineman needed to get up the field and make a big gain. Now we're down to the last 2 plays. And I feel like I don't want it to feel this way, but it feels like I'm picking on Justin Jefferson, but it's just an example of what happens when you don't maintain leverage on the edge. You got to trust your inside defender. So on this play, if Justin Jefferson just gets to the outside leverage, stays there, trust his inside guys to make up what they're supposed to do and make the tackle, you would see them be very productive and stop some of these games from being as large as they are. It's just that simple sometimes. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is just a little bit of Georgia tempo, showing, and Alabama wasn't really ready on this play. If you look at it, Alabama's defenders in the secondary were still trying to get lined up confused, but the defensive linemen, they were ready, and they stepped up. And of course you see LT Overton, really great on this play, gets this guy, and that's what happens. Sometimes you go fast and you're thinking we're going to catch the defense off guard and we're going to get a free big play or a free touchdown. But sometimes you go fast and that allows the defense to play simply and they just rush up the field. LT Overton did that, and everybody else who was up on that front, they bullied their guys, beat them at the spot, and stopped the play before it can go anywhere. And sometimes that's all you need on defense. But there's some really good things to see from the Alabama defense, and there's a few things execution-wise. It's not a matter of talent. I think Alabama's defense, if they just do what they're supposed to do, they can play well with just about anybody. But we will see as the season progresses. Let me know what you think about that.